closer look at this map, 45 kilometers southeast of Addis Ababa, in Ethiopia highlands, a stretch of farmland is being transformed into something extraordinary. A brand new international airport designed to handle more than 100 million passengers a year. That will put it in the same league as Atlanta in Georgia, Beijing in China, and Dubai. For a country widely associated with agriculture and aid, that sounds almost impossible, but the foundations are already being poured. The price tag, $12.5 billion. And Ethiopia isn't building the airport for prestige, they are building it for something they can't fix. At 2,300 meters above sea level, the air is too thin. But one fact is quietly costing Ethiopian Airlines hundreds of millions. Ethiopian Airlines is Africa's most successful carrier, over $7 billion in annual revenue, profitable for more than 20 consecutive years, the largest fleet and network on the continent. But despite that success, there is one problem they can't engineer away. If you've flown from Addis Ababa to Washington, D.C. or New York, you might have noticed something strange. A fuel stop. Not because the Boeing 787 can't make the distance. It absolutely can. The problem is where the flight begins. At 2,300 meters, Addis Ababa's Bole International Airport sits in air that is roughly 20% less dense than the sea level. For aircraft, that means less lift from the wings and less thrust from the engines. It's basic physics. Load the plane with enough fuel to fly non-stop to North America and it becomes too heavy to take off. So the Ethiopian Airlines is forced to choose. Leave some passengers behind, some cargo behind, or leave some fuel behind. They chose fuel. And that decision add cost to every long-haul flight. Those technical stops aren't minor inconveniences. They meant extra fuel burn, longer crew hours, additional airport fees, and lost cargo revenue. Over time, the cost compounds. Industry estimates suggest this altitude penalty cost Ethiopian Airlines hundreds of millions of dollars over a decade, and as the airline grows, so does the problem. The passenger numbers are rising at double-digit rate, the fleet is expanding, and Addis Ababa existing airport is already nearing its physical limits. So, what do you do if your biggest constraint isn't demand but gravity? In January 2026, Ethiopia made its decision not to expand the airport it had, but to build an entirely new one. Bishoftu International Airport sits 400 meters lower than Addis Ababa. That difference might sound small, but in aviation it's everything. At this lower elevation, the same aircraft can carry more fuel, more cargo, more passengers. Suddenly, non-stop flights to New York, Toronto, Sao Paulo, and Shanghai become viable. Phase 1 alone of this project is designed to handle 50 to 60 million passengers a year. 2 parallel runways, 1.1 million square meters of terminal space, and room to grow beyond that. The airport's master plan was developed by Zaha Hadid, architects, and Sidara. It's modular, expandable, designed so new sections can be added without demolishing what already exists. For context, Heathrow handles around 80 million passengers across multiple terminals. Tokyo Haneda handles under 90 million. Bishoftu is being designed to exceed both. When fully built, it will be the largest airport Africa has ever seen by a long way. But the design is the easy part. Paying for it is where the problem is. $12.5 billion makes this the most expensive infrastructure project in African history. Ethiopian Airlines is contributing over $3 billion of its own money. The African Development Bank has committed $500 million and is tasked with raising much more. Additional support is coming from United States of America and the Chinese institutions. But even with all of that, roughly $8 billion still needs to be raised. And this is happening while Ethiopia is restructuring foreign debt, missed Eurobond, IMF negotiation, and now they're asking market to bet on a future airport revenue. The financial model relies heavily on securitization, future landing fees, passenger charges, retail income sold to investors today. It's like spending tomorrow's lunch money. If traffic grows at forecast, the system works. If it doesn't, the risks land squarely on the country. The Bishoftu site covers 35 square kilometers. Land that was once found by thousands of families. Ethiopian Airlines allocated hundreds of millions for resettlement. The government says the process was voluntary and fair. Opposition groups say farmers were displaced too quickly without adequate compensations. Independent verification has been difficult, but the tension highlights a familiar truth. When infrastructure scales up, someone always pays the price. The airport isn't just about one country, it's about who controls African aviation. Right now, much of Africa's long-haul traffic flows through Dubai, Doha, Istanbul. Bishoftu is designed to pull that traffic back onto the continent. From here, there are three paths: success, delay, or failure. If it works, Africa gets its first true global mega hub. If it doesn't, this field becomes a very expensive warning. The physics problem is real, the ambition is undeniable. Now, execution will decide everything. If you like interesting and divinative Africa infrastructure projects like this, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comment section if you think Ethiopian Airlines or Ethiopia will be able to finish this project within the stipulated project time frame, or do you think the project will be delayed? Let me know in the comment section. See you on the next one.